you guys have just tomorrow is your last day here before you go down to Arizona. What are you hoping to accomplish in Arizona, and how does it kind of change, or is it, you said it kind of is a new phase when you get down there?
Yeah, so 3 stages. First stage, 5 days here. We're building the foundation. We'll work in 11s for the first time tomorrow. So we've been gradually building the fitness up, but also building the numbers and the tactics up. First day, entry day, second day, attack, those principles. Third day, defending principles as they relate to our style of play. Today we backed them off and did more functional. So we put together the back 4, some defensive work, shape work there. Front guys, a little bit of technical work. We raised the load of the new guys because they're actually used to doing 2 days in their preseasons, and physically they're capable of managing a longer load. And then also some of them won't play as much tomorrow, so we wanted to adjust for that. And then tomorrow we'll do a bit of a fitness test, 5 days. 5 days. That's our first physical-based test. We did some other testing prior to that, but that'll give us a pulse 5 days in where we're at, and then we'll play a little bit. So it'll be the first time where we can kind of measure first team, second team, and put the group together, evaluate where we're at positionally, depth chart, all that. Develop our cohesiveness. So I think we're in a good spot right now. Physically, we're building. Tactically, we're building. Our cohesiveness is coming. It's obviously come back quick again because we have so many returning guys. So I think we're right on track. No injuries, which is huge. We want to keep it that way. And then when we get to Tucson, now you add in the games. So we'll get a good measuring stick against Kansas City. We'll play 2 groups, 45 minutes, so that we slowly build the loads up and the minutes up. And then we have a full week after that to prepare for the next game. So that'll give us a nice amount of time to reflect on that game, where we're at, and correct some things in training and building up for the next game. And then the next game we'll go 60 one group, 30 another group. And then 2 days later we'll flip it, where we'll go 60-30 with the opposite group. And then we come back here, and now we're more final stage, more game related rhythm, normal kind of season rhythm, where we're building up through the week and really preparing for more of a real match, because the games are a little bit more real. And we'll try to go 90 in the first game, or close to that, with one group, and then we'll flip and go a completely different group basically in the next game, and then we'll go back to 90 again. So now we get 2 games, hopefully 90 minutes, before our first game, March 7th.
This is your 3rd year, I think, in a row going down to Arizona. What is it you like about that, kind of changing it up and taking training camp down there?
Well, the weather's nice. That doesn't hurt, although might need to reconsider that now that the weather here has been nice. But no, it's more than that. But that is obviously a factor. This time of year in Portland's sometimes nasty. But a bigger factor is just getting the guys away and concentrated. I think anytime you can get the guys away and together, they're around each other more, and I think it concentrates them more and allows us to bond the team a little bit. Otherwise, if you're thinking about when they're here, they're going home. And they're not hanging out a ton outside of training. So they're around each other, and they're going to be hanging out a lot more. So I think that's a part of it. The other part of it is we're able to get games. So we've got a lot of MLS teams there together, and we wouldn't be able to get those games unless we had that type of format and setup.
Coach, I know you've been asked a lot about Will and how his rehab's going, but what have you seen out of him and the type of effort that he's putting into him and how he's handling that?
Well, I think he's been great. Obviously, I didn't expect anything different. He's a high character guy, and he's become the type of pro that he's become because of that character and that attitude and that professionalism. So when you see guys like him, when they get injured, I think they always have a little bit better advantage in coming back from injuries because of their professionalism. Other guys that maybe aren't the type of guy that does things right all the time and makes the most of everything all the time. Sometimes you never know with the recovery because maybe they're cutting corners in the rehab. But with Will, I think he's the opposite. He's the type of guy that you're going to have to slow down because ultimately there is a appropriate return to play. And I think if you asked him, he'd like to jump in and play now, but he can't. Although he feels like he can, he just can't. Your body's got to get back to being able to functionally, the legs healed, but the body needs to now get strong again, and we need to build them up slowly. And then there's the final layer, which is the most unpredictable part of an injury, is the psychological piece. And that's why it's nearly impossible to give a date for a return, because he might be cleared and he might be back into soccer and training and fit, but is he psychologically ready to go into a match where you're playing for keeps now and tackles are flying around, and you need to test that, and there's a bit of a I think a natural progression with the psychology side of things. So with Larry, he had an ACL before, so I think that would be a little bit, maybe that part of things will be a little bit quicker because he's already been through a knee injury and an ACL, and he knows what to expect with that. But you never know how a guy's going to respond with a broken leg sometimes in terms of coming back. But nice thing is he's healed. So that's, for me, that's the biggest worry when you see a broken bone. Is it going to heal well, and is it going to throw the mechanics off? And none of those things have been an issue with Will. So now it's just a matter of slowly bringing him back to match fitness and match strength, and getting the psychology sorted where he's ready 100%. He's not thinking about anything other than when there's another tackle, going to that tackle again and trying to win it.